Hello, my fellow pool enthusiasts. This is the second video in a series of tutorials where I explain how to predict the path of the cue ball and increase cue ball control using the 90-degree rule. If you're unfamiliar with the 90-degree rule and how to find the tangent line, I will include a link in this video's description. Here is a quick synopsis of the 90-degree rule. When the cue ball is hit with a stun shot, the cue ball will hit the object ball and deflect along the path of the tangent line. If the cue ball is hit with top, also called a follow shot, the cue ball will travel past the tangent line after making contact with the object ball. And the final part of the 90-degree rule states that if you hit the cue ball with low English, also called a draw shot, then the cue ball will deflect along a path above the tangent line. I will now complete a drill that demonstrates the 90-degree rule and how the cut angle affects the path of the cue ball. In the first stage of this drill, I'll be shooting each shot with top English. If we watch each shot in slow motion, we can see that the cue ball deflects along a path that is past the tangent line. Note how the path of the cue ball goes further past the tangent line as the cut angle decreases. The next shot is straight in, but if I aim the object ball to one side of the pocket, I am able to cheat the pocket and create a cut angle on the object ball. This allows me to put topspin on the cue ball without scratching. The same shot is a scratch shot if I aim the object ball to the center of the pocket. As I continue to move the cue ball in this drill and increase the cut angle, notice how the distance the cue ball travels past the tangent line decreases. There is one caveat to the 90-degree rule if the object ball is cut very thin. Let me demonstrate. In this first example, I'll be shooting the cue ball with high English. In this example, I'll be shooting the cue ball with low English. Notice how in each shot, the cue ball deflected along the path of the tangent line, even though the cue ball was given opposite English in each shot. I will now be completing the rest of this drill hitting the cue ball with low English. Note how the cut angle affects the path of the cue ball in each shot. This next shot is straight on. This is how the cue ball reacts when I cheat the pocket to the left. In this shot, I am aiming the cue ball to the center of the pocket. And in this shot, I cheat the pocket to the right. As I continue with this drill, notice how the path of the cue ball moves closer to the path of the tangent line as the cut angle increases in each shot. This next drill is an excellent choice for players wanting to increase their cue ball control. In this drill, I will use the tangent line as the baseline and then alter the path of the cue ball by using either high or low English to hit the balls on the rail in consecutive order. To set up this drill, place a line of balls next to the rail on the half diamond and diamond points in consecutive order. Set up a cut shot that you want to practice. Mark the placement of the cue ball and the object ball for consistency. After looking at the shot, I know that at this cut angle, the 1 and the 2 ball cannot be hit when shooting the ball with high English, so I am moving them out of the way. To begin this drill, pocket the object ball using maximum top English. Pay attention to which ball on the rail the cue ball makes contact with. If the cue ball goes between balls, shoot the shot again, adjusting your English on the cue ball so that you make contact with one of the balls on the rail. In the drill I am doing, I hit the 3 ball using maximum high English. Now set up the same shot. Adjust your English on the cue ball so you can make contact with the next ball on the rail. The 4 ball is sitting just past the tangent line, so I know I will have to hit the cue ball somewhere between center ball and maximum high in order to make contact with the 4 ball. In fact, I hit the cue ball about a Q-tip above center in order to make contact with the 4 ball. In the next shot, the 5 ball is sitting just above the tangent line. So I know that if I hit about a half a cue tip below center on the cue ball, I should make contact with the 5 ball. In this last shot, the 6 ball is well above the tangent line. I am going to attempt to hit the 6 ball using maximum low. I was able to make contact with the 6 ball using maximum low, but just barely. I would have hit the 6 ball more fully if I would have hit the cue ball slightly above my maximum low point. Now I will review a few examples of how to apply the 90-degree rule and the information covered in the previous drills to game situations. In this first situation, I want to pocket the 10 ball and break up the 2 stripes on the rail. How would you shoot this shot? The 10 ball is a straight-in shot. However, I learned in the previous drills that if I cheat the pocket to the right and give the cue ball maximum high English, I can break out the balls on the rail. In this next example, the player is shooting stripes. Since the 8 ball does not have an open pocket, the smart shot would be to break up the 8 and the 3 ball. How would you shoot this shot? The options are rather limited since the 9 ball is almost a straight-in shot. The 8 and 3 ball are behind the tangent line, so I know I may be able to use a draw shot to break up the balls. Using what I learned in the previous drills, I will attempt to break up the 8 and the 3 ball by cheating the pocket to the right and drawing the cue ball back into the tied up balls. In this next example, the shooter needs to pocket the 4 ball and break up the 5 and the 6 ball. How would you shoot this shot? The shooter could attempt a draw shot to get the breakout, but there is a risk of scratching. The safest shot in this situation would be to hit the cue ball with a stun shot, so the cue ball deflects along the path of the tangent line, rebounds off the rail, and breaks out the balls. In the next example, the shooter must pocket the 2 ball and break up the 3 and the 5 ball on the rail. How would you shoot this shot? There are 2 primary ways to break up the 3 and the 5 ball in this situation. I do prefer one solution over the other. The tangent line is in line with the corner pocket, so a stun shot would result in a scratch. Since the 3 and the 5 ball are a short distance behind the tangent line, a draw shot is an option. However, there is a risk of scratching if you don't put enough draw on the cue ball. The second option is to hit the cue ball with a half a cue tip above center, so the cue ball hits the rail just past the tangent line and rebounds into the tied up balls. The last example is a little tricky. The tied up balls are past the tangent line, but due to the cut angle, you would miss the breakout when using maximum top English. So how would you shoot this shot? In order to achieve the breakout in this situation, you would play the 12 ball off the 11 ball for an easy breakout. If you don't know how to aim this shot, subscribe to my channel, as I'll be covering how to aim kiss and carom shots in future videos. The next video in my cue ball control series will cover the 30-degree rule, which will help you determine the path of a rolling cue ball. I will also be covering the 3 times the angle system, which will help you determine the path of the cue ball when playing a draw shot. If you learned anything from this video, please like and subscribe to show your support. Make sure you have YouTube notifications turned on so you will be alerted every time I drop a new video. Until next time, play hard and have fun. Bye!